Hey all, Bryan VantHof here with RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Ramsey trusted the Minnesota real estate team and the VantHof Realty Group. Hope you're having a great week to start here. We have officially entered the start of the busiest time of the year in real estate. Post Super Bowl is kind of the starting period for when more sellers get active, more buyers get active, and we are here. With mid-40s coming up this weekend, it's going to be a very busy weekend, at least in real estate. But let's talk a little bit this week about January stats, kind of finish up with that, but let's talk about the week that was in real estate, as we always do to start, for previously owned homes within that 50-mile radius of downtown Minneapolis in Minnesota. We saw 780 new listings hit the market over the past 7 days. That's up 164 from last week and 81 more than the same week last year. Of the total, 521 were single-family homes, up 105, 165 townhomes, up 37, and 94 condos, which is up 22. At least 146 of those new listings did sell so far. That's 19% of new listings sold in the first week. That is busier than what we saw last week, but we are slower than where we were at this time last year, when about 24% of new listings did sell in that first week. Coming soon listings rose again this week. That number is 288. That's a jump of 63 from last week and 37 more than what we saw at this time last year. Total available inventory rose to 3,807, up 92 from last week and 631 more than last year. 2,124 of the available homes are single family. That's up 60 from last week and 422 more than last year, at a median listing price of $450,000, up $15,000 from last week, but down $35,000 from last year, with days on the market of 63. That's down 8 from last week, but 1 more than last year at this time. Kind of a big factor in the lower median listing price this year compared to last is that we have significantly fewer homes on the market at $500,000 or more than we did last January. There's nearly 250 fewer 500,000 plus homes on the market right now, while the inventory below 500,000 has actually remained relatively stable. So there's the stats. There's the reason why median prices are lower than where they were. Not because home prices are coming down. It's just that the number of listings above 500,000 is lower, which if you're own a home in that 500,000 plus range, if you're looking to sell, actually a little less competition now this year than there were in years past. That also bodes a little bit well for that market as we go into spring, as people see there's less supply for those homes, and that possibly drives the prices up of those 500,000 or more, giving those 500,000 plus people the ability to move up, move down, move sideways, kind of wherever they want. So we're looking at a fairly strong season, spring market this year when it comes to real estate. That's part of the reason why. Of our available homes, 869 are townhomes. That's up 13 from last week and 178 more than last year. Median price of $299,000, which is up $4,000 from last week, but down $1,000 from last year. 58 days on the market, which is down 4 from last week, but up 4 from last year. 814 are condos, up 19 from last week and 32 more than last year. Median price of $200,000. That's up $5,000 from last week, but down $2,000 from last year. With days on the market at about 113, up 1 from last week and 12 more than last year. 572 homes went from active to pending, up 139 from last week. 383 went from pending to sold, down 29 from last week. There is a total of 2,060 pending listings. That's up 165 from last week. 980 homes are active but have accepted an offer contingent on something, inspection, sale of another property, whatever. 727 homes are temporarily not available for show. That's down 40 from last week. That's still a fairly large contingent of what I'll call shadow inventory. These are homes not visible to you on the public websites like Zillow, Realtor.com, things like that. But they're in the shadows. They're ready to come back to market. They're ready to come to market. If all of them were to come on the market, that would actually increase our inventory by nearly 20%. So the temporarily not available for showing listings are a fairly significant factor in, again, what we might call shadow inventory that might eventually come back on the market. It doesn't mean that pricing is going to go down because there's excess inventory out there. It just means that there might be more options here coming up soon, and they're ready to go. Mortgage rates were down slightly from last week, but almost unnoticeable to the public. Good mortgage brokers still going to be between 6 to 6.25% on a single family home. fixed 30-year mortgage, conventional. The rates are unchanged from 1 and 3 months ago, down 1/8 from 6 months ago, and down 3/8 from nine months ago and 1 year ago. Showing activity for the past 7 days rose almost 1,400 from the prior week to just over 11,000 realtor scheduled showings. Showings per listing rose to 3.29 from 3, so that's a good increase. Total showing activity was about 100 more showings this past week than the same week last year, but last year's showings per listing were higher at 3.6 showings per listing. That's the report for the week that was. Now we can talk a little bit more about what happened in January for previously owned homes within that 50-mile radius of downtown Minneapolis. Last January, we saw total closed sales of 2,066 single-family townhomes and condos. This January, this one that just finished, we saw a lower number of closed sales at 1,717, over 300 closed sales less than what we saw last January. It's a 17% drop in closed sales this year compared to last, indicating we had a very slow, or not very slow, but we had a relatively slow holiday season that for buyers who looked at homes and made offers really anytime between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day. It just was overall a slower holiday season compared to the prior holiday season. January closed sales would be indicative again of buyer activity from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. January of 2025 saw 1,508 single-family homes closed at a price of $385,000 on median and $190.72 per square foot. This January, single-family home sales were 1,254 and closed at a median of $390,000 and $194.91 per square foot. Prices on single-family homes still up, but total sales down. This January, we had 340 townhomes that sold compared to 386 last year at a median price of $278 and $175.95 per square foot. Both of those numbers were very similar to last year, so not much change in the townhouse inventory as far as closed sales go. Price goes, meaning price per square foot. Condo sales this January were 123 this year versus 172 last January. Fairly small sample size, but condos closed at a median of $185,000 and $178.57 per square foot. Last January, condos were at $190,000 and $188.95 per square foot. So we did actually see price reductions in the condo market if you take those small sample sizes. Single-family homes continue their gradual appreciation, townhomes flat, condos continue their decline. Now, let's look at some stats as provided by the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors. We can kind of look back at some additional things. For the 13-county Twin Cities region, January new listings were down 10.4% over the prior January. This includes new construction. Closed sales were down 18.2% in January compared to the prior January. Overall median home prices were up, however, 0.4%, while price per square foot was up about 1%. Days on the market until sale dropped 4.5%, while sellers generally received about 96.9% of their original list price. We saw 10.8% fewer listings overall this January than last. One huge thing that has changed that we saw in January is that home affordability hit heights that we haven't seen in 2 years. The home affordability index for the Twin Cities hit 131 in January, which means the median household income was 131% of what is necessary to qualify for a median priced home with today's interest rates. Additionally, median home price increases have been relatively stable since late 2022. We have seen annual growth of under 5%, never negative. We didn't see prices go down, however. Every month since December of 2022. We have seen annual growth above 5% every year. Before that, going back to 2013. So over the past 3+ years, we've seen growth rates of 5% or less, but again, never negative. Prior to that, going back to 2013, we had growth rates of 5% or greater every year, going back 9 or 10 years. So this Slowing in appreciation, slowing in pricing for homes is a positive sign for buyers and really not bad news for sellers either. Great stability in price appreciation makes for a better, more stable housing market. Previously owned single family home market is still the strongest. However, St. Paul Area Association of Realtors is reporting that in January we had just 1.2 months supply of previously owned single family homes, slightly less than last January. We have just 1.8 months of townhomes, that's unchanged from last year, and 3.8 months supply of condos, which is also unchanged from last January. That's the stats for the week. I know it's pretty stats heavy today, but hopefully it's beneficial to you to get that information. So let's talk about your real estate goals soon. I'm here to provide you with the resources and information for you to be successful. If you're looking to sell, you can check out a sampling of my recent listings or my recently sold listings at bryanvanthof.com/recent-listings. I'm here to help everyone, whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether you're downsizing, whether you're looking for lake property, whether you're side sizing, moving up, whatever. I work all price points, all regions of the Twin Cities area, and I'm really just here to help you accomplish your goals. So please reach out to me anytime. Share this email with anyone that you might know that could benefit from this. Having knowledge and information is important to being successful in anything. But when you're talking about a place to live and negotiations, should you be buying or selling, having information is power as always. So hope you have a great weekend. Reach out anytime. We'll talk to you soon.